How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your weekly forecast of what the heck is going on in the universe for August 12th through the 19th. Now, there's not a whole lot going on this week. Not a whole lot of big transits, nothing too spectacular happening. But the thing I did want to mention about this week as we move forward is it's going to feel a little bit less pressurized. The energy is going to start feeling a little bit more soothing. It's going to feel a little bit more, I wouldn't say nicer, but you're going to start to feel that mojo starting to come back to you as we had this whole Mars retrograde over this summer, making it feel like, what are we doing? What are we connecting ourselves to? What are we trying to accomplish? What do we want to what do we want to be creative about going about things and whatnot and stuff like that? But as this week continues, you're going to start feeling a little bit more better. So with this week starting, we're kind of starting to get back into the game of things, per se. But anyway, let's get on with everything. Monday, pretty important day because Mars had just got back into Capricorn on Sunday, which is important because Mars is still retrograde. The energy that we have to really necessarily do anything, and I know that's really broad in general, but it's really important to make that clarification because Mars is our energy, Mars is our drive, Mars is our force, Mars is what gets us out of bed in the morning. And when you have Mars retrograde, it's a little bit harder to kind of have the energy to go about to do things, to accomplish things, and especially when you're talking about Saturn, not Saturn. Well, you are talking about Saturn here, but Capricorn and Aquarius, where we want to get a lot done, we want to be creative, we want to make sure everyone's a part of it and everything like that. As Mars retrogrades through these signs, it's kind of like, it's not the funnest thing. I'm sure you guys have read and heard all about it for the past couple months, but Mars went retrograde back into Capricorn, which is good, depending on how you look at it. Because now that Mars is back in its exaltation of Capricorn, where Mars is a hard worker, Mars wants to accomplish, Mars wants to achieve, Mars wants to make Saturn proud, Mars wants to put in the work in an efficient way, a systematic way that is going to, in lack of a better word, basically create the results that you are looking for in a workhorse mentality, in a corporate mentality. But Mars is still retrograde. So it could have felt like when Mars went back into Capricorn right on Sunday night, you just got piled on with a bunch of work and you're like, I'm not ready to take this on yet. I still need a little breath. I still need a little bit of a recharge. And yeah, we still are going to have that once Mars goes direct and everything. But as Mars goes back into Capricorn, expect to have a lot more work, but have the energy to do it. Not necessarily, ask Mars, hey, let me have this energy to go about doing things. Mars isn't really there for you for that. This is going to require a lot of willpower to really push through this week and to kind of get everything done that you need to get done. Now that Mars is back in Capricorn, we're back to work mode. Anyway, Monday, today, we had Saturn going back to 2 degrees Capricorn, where it will be stationing direct, and it is making an exact trine to Uranus, which is really important because now that Saturn is in its domicile of Capricorn, where, it's wanting us to be efficient, it's wanting us to be effective, it's wanting us to create results. Where do we need to discipline ourselves? Where do we need to kind of not necessarily cut corners, but where do we really need to establish some type of foundation and ground? Now that Saturn's trining Uranus, Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, Uranus is a little bit charged up. We have this, okay, I didn't understand how to put down this groundwork. I understand how to put, the focus and the energy and the time and the commitment into this creative idea that I have. Now, that's more of that Uranus energy of hey, creative inspiration, outward thinking, forward thinking, explosions, breakthroughs, or breakdowns. And as Uranus is in Taurus, where we're talking about things, we're talking about what we value, we're talking about what we want to possess, what we want to have, what is material and what is real. As Saturn trines Uranus this week, really take that into consideration when you're kind of applying yourself. Now that Mars is in Capricorn, we're doing stuff again. Saturn is trining Uranus. Don't be afraid to get a little idea in your head. Maybe if you have some type of creative inspiration, take action on it. See how far it can kind of get you. It's not, I wouldn't say this is the best time to start something new because everything is still retrograde, but here in about 2 or 3 weeks when planets start going direct, you'll have an easier time to go about those projects. I'm just saying, during this week, you might notice those ideas start coming up. So pay attention to them, listen to them. Moon square Saturn on Monday as the moon goes into Virgo and then it goes into, oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. As moon is in Virgo and then goes into Libra and starts squaring Saturn. And Jupiter will also trine Neptune exactly at 15 degrees starting on Monday. Now, it's not exact to the minute, but it does start today on Monday. With Jupiter being in Scorpio, when we're focusing on like these raw, more serious emotions, we're trying to bring some light to them, trying to figure out how we can use these for good. It's trining Neptune, where Neptune wants to really deceive us, but we have Jupiter here kind of going like, we're not too fed into the whole lies and deception thing. What's really going on? As Jupiter trines Neptune, it's kind of like this, I don't want to say awakening because it's a really heavy loaded word, but it's a big realization of like, hey, you know, what do you really want to believe, in a sense? With Jupiter here in Scorpio, there's a lot of raw, hard facts coming up, but with Neptune right here, it's kind of like our choice to kind of play around with how we feel about it. And it's not necessarily like this week, like, oh my God, Jupiter trine Neptune, whoa, but it is a very magical transit, in lack for a better term, or a magical aspect. It is, you know, fun. It is inviting. It's Jupiter, and he's in Scorpio, where it's kind of like, hey, we're making the bad things look really cool right now and really good. And Neptune in Pisces is like, hell yeah, dude, I'm about the party. So enjoy the time while it's there. And then it goes, its trine is exact on, I can't read this all at once. We'll get there. But anyway, on Tuesday, we have the moon going into Libra. It's going to conjunct Venus. It's going to square Saturn. It's going to trine Mars. This is going to be really nice when it comes to like, all right, where do I want to go? What do I want to take action on? Moon's going to be in Libra. We're working with people. We're feeling better. It's conjunct Venus. We're happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to make a quick tangent on this. Tonight, or anytime this week, or mostly tonight or tomorrow night, go outside right at sunset, right after sunset. You will see the moon, you will see Venus, you will see Jupiter, you will see Saturn, you will see Mars, you will see how the whole ecliptic goes around the whole freaking solar system. It's absolutely insane. You guys got to go check it out. But as the moon conjuncts Venus, this is a really good time to kind of like, hey, you know, I'm feeling really good. I want to relate to people. I want to extend my arm out to the luxuries that Venus is offering. But the important aspect is that it's squaring Saturn right now. So be a little bit more on the conservative side when it comes to indulging in yourself and other people. You know, make sure that this is really going to work. This is going to be efficient for you. You're not going to be just putting yourself on the back burner. Make sure it's, you know, fiscally responsible, things like that. But the moon is also going to be trining Mars at this time as well. And so as the moon trines Mars, it's going to be a little bit easier to, how do I say this? Put more of your emotional impulse into your actions. So be aware of that. Mars is going to be in Capricorn, where it wants things to look a certain way. It wants to get things done in a proper way. And the moon's going to be in Libra, where it knows how to balance it all out. This is going to be good, quote unquote, good energy for it. But as Mars is still retrograde, just be cautious and aware of really where you're putting your emotional intentions into. Wednesday, Mercury Mercury squares Uranus. And the moon will square Mars and Pluto. So Wednesday, not a big deal. Mercury starts its square to Uranus again, which is kind of like, you're going to start feeling a little bit more of that pressure of Mercury and Leo, where it wants to be loud and bold and very vocal. It was making a square to Jupiter, where Mercury's, you know, microphone against the lion, you know, the lion's roar might have blown out the speakers, so we had some technical difficulty. But as Mercury squares Uranus, now it's kind of like, okay, how do we get this voice, this projection of, you know, it's kind of hard to explain what I really want to say right here, because Mercury is so much more than just our voice and our how we speak, our language. Mercury is our internal dialogue. And so when we have a Mercury retrograde, especially in Leo, we're reworking our belief system, not necessarily a belief system, but our internal dialogue of like, hey, how much do you tell yourself that you love yourself? How much do you tell yourself, you know, this is something that I want to do? Are you mentally putting yourself in this area where you can focus on your heart's passions, or are you focusing on what you don't have or what you can't achieve? Now, Mercury squaring Uranus is going to be kind of like, all right, dude, breakthrough. It's either a breakthrough or breakdown opportunity. Pick one. That's your choice. So go through that on Wednesday. And besides the moon squaring, you know, Mars and Pluto, which moon square Mars, kind of like, whatever. There's not, like, Mars is in Capricorn now, so it's not too big of a deal. So don't worry too much about Wednesday, but the Mercury square Uranus thing, you will be feeling that. Going into Thursday, moon goes into Scorpio, Venus starts its square to Pluto, Sun trines Uranus and Saturn. We get that grand Earth trine going on, even though the Sun's still in Leo. A big note to make is Venus starts to make it square to Pluto. This isn't necessarily the most drastic or crazy thing ever. Venus is going to stay with a square to Pluto for a while because she's going to start slowing down as she gets to her maximum elongation and then goes retrograde later on in October. But as Venus squares Pluto, don't trip about it too much. It's just this underlying sense of value and relating that we have is under construction. We are looking at like, okay, what do I really got to change? What do I want to make sure? It's kind of like, imagine you're at a construction zone and you did like, you messed up a city pipeline. You're like, I can't have my boss see this. We need to fix this now. Like that's Venus square Pluto. So, put the skeletons in the closet, do what you got to do, but don't trip about it too much. It's not that big of a deal. But the moon will go into Scorpio. And so as the moon goes into Scorpio, what is that going to be on Thursday? That's when emotions are going to get a little bit more vivid, a little bit more extreme. It's going to be charging up that Mars and Capricorn energy where it's going to be wanting you to go, 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 go. But we're not there yet, because we still need the moon to conjunct Jupiter. Now, even though on Thursday, the sun's going to trine Uranus and Saturn and all that stuff, and we get this grand, nice Earth trine kind of going on, which is going to be very stabilizing, very grounding, simple things like that. When Friday happens and the moon conjuncts Jupiter, that's going to be kind of our time, our like green light to be like, all right, now it's time to start getting things together. Now it's time to start really putting, what is it, that analogy? Putting the pedal to the metal. There we go. Couldn't think of that. As the moon conjuncts Jupiter and we kind of bring out a lot of the emotional awareness and the beliefs and the feelings that we all have, it's going to be trining Neptune, like exactly. There's a lot. It's going to be not super emotionally overwhelming, but on Friday, really feel what you're feeling and take it somewhere. Go somewhere with it. Even though wherever you end up going may not exactly be as progressive or forward moving as you want it to be, keep following your nose. As moon conjuncts Scorpio, follow your intuition. Feel it out. Feel that passion. Feel that fire. Keep going. Be excited. Be fun. Have fun with this. This is moon conjunct Jupiter. And this is charging up Mars and Capricorn. And he's about to go direct. So anyway, to start off with this weekend, with Saturday, we have the moon going into Sagittarius. Fun. So it's going to be a fun party weekend if anyone likes to go and hang out downtown with their friends or whatever. Every time the moon's in Sagittarius, swear to God, doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday, everyone is out having a good time. Mars will then also make its conjunction to Pluto, where it's not going to be exact because Mars already did that, but Mars will touch Pluto on Saturday, and that's a very important note to make, where Mars conjuncting Pluto is a lot of power struggle, a lot of issues regarding, like actually taking that masculine energy, that forward energy, and doing something with it. So Mars conjunct Pluto, just barely touching it, is going to be kind of like a, hey, I need to get stuff done. I need to go. I want to do this. Like, there's no time to wait. I need to create this. I need to start doing this, X, Y, and Z. And then Venus sextiles Mercury. Then on Sunday, whoops, I don't know why I just dropped that because I'm not done reading it yet. But Sunday, thank God, Mercury goes direct. We are all done with Mercury retrograde for the moment until he leaves shadow, of course, too. But as Mercury goes direct, this is the time to really get our minds caught up with everything else that we've been doing, everything else that's been going on, Our minds in Leo has been like, it's been very loud, it's been very hot, it's been very passionate. And as Mercury's been retrograde, it's been allowing our minds to really slow down, catch up with the rest of the planets that are retrograde, really not necessarily analyze what's kind of going on, but really feel it out. Kind of like do a little, ayahuasca ceremony, like, find your heart, have a vision quest type deal. And as Mercury goes direct, we can finally catch up with our minds, see what's going on, and hold on. What else is going on Sunday? I totally threw this. Oh yeah, Jupiter trines Neptune exactly on Sunday. That's that little, splash of magic thrown in there. And Venus stops at square to Saturn, meaning Venus ends at square to Saturn. So with Venus being in Libra squaring Saturn, it's been kind of rough. We've been wanting to enjoy Venus in Libra, but with that square to Saturn initially, it was kind of like halting the Venus and Libra experiences just for a minute. It's kind of like when you're running behind schedule for an event. So with Mercury going direct, Jupiter trining Neptune exactly, Venus ending at square to Saturn, Sunday's going to be good. And then after that, next week, Mercury will be direct, Mars is going to be going direct, like Saturn will be going direct sometime soon as well. We got a lot of things moving forward. It's just this week is a lot of the build up to it. So use this week, be with this week. It's just 1 week, and then the next couple weeks we'll go back to the crazy hecticness of the next 3 or 4 months that we got left of 2018. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. I love every single one of you, and I will be seeing you guys next week.